Hey everyone, welcome to the Withering Effect. This is episode 15. Today's date is September 24th, 2019. I am Duds, or Duds versus everywhere else you can see me.
And I'm Bankarappel, or Bank for short, and today we're going to talk about some Minecraft. What have you been working on this week, Duds?
Well, hot darn if we didn't nail an intro for a week. One in a row.
Yeah, we did. Although, I was looking at the date as you were reading it, and
Yeah.
I did get messed up, but...
No, don't do that. Your dates are backwards.
I pulled myself to... It wasn't because it's backwards, but you said the 24th, and for me it shows the 25th.
Well, you're backwards and in the future.
I know. But it's alright, I pulled myself together before I had to start talking.
Yeah. The stuff I've been working on is the same as last week. Nothing Minecraft, mysterious project that is taking up basically all my creative free time. I did some stuff around the house. So, like, we had some trees cut down in the backyard. And it basically ruined the little bit of grass I had back there.
That sucks.
Yeah, so we spent the weekend working in the backyard. Me, my dad, my sister, and Swabby, my roommate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been pretty cool.
Nice.
I'm kind of excited to get some grass growing finally.
I was just gonna ask, are you putting in new grass, or are you gonna switch it up altogether?
We're putting in different kind of grass than what I'm used to. I can't remember what kind. I'm sorry. My neighbors are literally beating on something as soon as we record it. It's distracting me. I don't know if it's going to come through. I think it's fescue. It might be fescue. It's the type of grass. But we just did like seed and stuff. We're not actually bringing in layers of grass. It's not like we have grass blocks laying around. We can put stuff down.
I didn't even know you had choices in different grass, so sure.
Mike's like, wait, you can't just say grass and get the green stuff?
Well, I knew, like, my parents always struggled keeping the grass nice, because I got two brothers, so we obviously always ruined the grass. Mm-hmm. And then they always had, like, dogs, so it's sort of extra ruins the grass. So they sometimes try to like, put some seeds down and stuff. And then they sort of went for sturdy grass or something. But that's the most difference I know that exists.
Yeah. I'm not sure what we got. We have really hot summers and basically mild winters, and the grass I have now is made for like more up north. So basically in the middle of the summer it's dead, and by the end of fall it's dead, which means I've got about a 3-month period where it's green. So it's like if we have to redo the backyard, might as well just go ahead and do it and do something different. So we chose a more resilient
that's what it
grass.
used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was what you were getting. I was like, that sounds maybe risky.
No. We're switching it up to something that hopefully doesn't die. But other than that, that's it. I do promise I am working on Minecraft this week. I'm finally going to do my episode I've had in my head for a little while. I've been getting on.
Yeah, you talked about that last week already a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I planned on working on the weekend, and then working in the yard took longer than I thought, and then I went and hung out with some friends I haven't talked to in like years. So it was fun reminiscing and catching up and stuff, and got distracted. But this week, the guys on the server, if you swap by my base, you actually see I've started working on stuff. So there is an episode in progress, so hopefully it comes out by the end of the week.
Sweet.
What about you? What have you been doing this week?
Well, it was a really quiet kind of week. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend took a week off.
Nice.
So we just watched a lot of movies kind of together.
Anything good?
I mean, a lot of them were sort of enjoyable movies, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But nothing that really stood out?
Not that I can think of right off the moment. No, so I guess not enough. It didn't stick out enough. I mean, we watched Avatar, the Outer Planet one with the blue person people.
Oh, the ripoff of Ferngully.
I don't know, Ferngully or something.
That's what I say to all my friends. They're like, "Oh, I love Avatar." I go, "It's just a ripoff of Ferngully, which is just an animated cartoon." Right here.
Okay.
And the animated cartoon's a ripoff of something else too.
I mean, it's hard coming up with a story that's not gonna be a ripoff, I guess, in some way. I I did actually mention this week, like, I'm not the biggest movie guy, you know that. But Avatar seems like it could be one of those... It could become maybe sort of a classic-ish kind of movie, if that makes sense.
Well, it held the record for #1 box office movie till Avengers Endgame just broke it this summer.
Yeah, that for me usually more means it's just a horrible movie. I guess Avatar kind of sticks out already. I mean, yeah. I like the movie. I personally don't think it's the greatest movie out there. But I think it's a good movie, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun. For the rest, we just watched a lot of those silly comedies.
Yeah.
Also a few aimed for couples and stuff. It was, I don't know, just enjoyable stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, should we jump into the news? Because we actually have some news this week.
Let's do it. Yeah, they did some cool news.
Yeah. We're going to start with the Bedrock character creator. So this is going to be a way for people on Bedrock to do custom characters that aren't purchased from the store or imported from Java, because I didn't realize you can import your Java character into Bedrock, which for me is like, everyone complains about not having custom characters. I'm like, couldn't you make a Java one and just constantly import it into Bedrock? But either way, so this custom creator is going to be a lot like the Hightail creator, from what I can see.
Okay.
So that's going to be cool. You can change player height from it. You can put hats on them, which is awesome. So it looks like the 3D model will be able to be played with a little bit.
I was going to say, that's interesting if you can mess around with height and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it comes to Java. But I like Java's more custom skins it has now. But being able to play with that 3D model would be really fun.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I like the fact that we have pretty much all the freedom we want in creating a skin, but that's all we can do.
Yeah.
I like the idea of being able to tweak a little bit more.
But that's really all I can say. Like, if you want a preview of it, we're obviously going to put a link to the website posting, whatever, but literally from reading the posting and watching the videos, it looks exactly like the Hightail version. So I have a feeling this has kind of been in the works, and that same code kind of got passed around.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's the Hightail one is kind of a common way of doing character creation, anyway. I guess. Yeah. So it's not weird to slowly step onto that, probably.
No.
All right. I guess I'll step over to the snapshot this week. There were two big fixes. One was the game crashing when you placed a block or broke a block. And the other one was it not showing an animation when you break a block. And they fixed that. Those
dirty blocks and their bugs.
Yeah, it's very minimal snapshot.
I mean, we knew this was going to happen leading into Minecon, so. I didn't expect to see bees, but I figured there wasn't going to be much happening in Snapshot news leading into Minecon.
Probably not. I mean, they got to keep some secrets as well, I guess.
Bigger announcements. We have the biome vote. They're finally releasing previews of the different biomes. Yeah, that's kind of how I've felt. So we'll go through a biome at a time, and we'll talk about them. The first being the Badlands biome. That released Monday, and it's going to feature tumbleweeds, vultures, and new cactus variations.
I like them changing the cactus, to be honest.
I do too. To me, that seems like it's been needed for a long time.
Yeah, although I do hope they keep the old ones. I'm not clear if they are or not. I hope they're just gonna add a new one. But I like how the new ones looked.
I would love it if the cactus variations. So from the preview video, they have these little flowers on them. How cool would it be if those flowers changed so you could get different colored dyes instead of just cactus green based on the flower?
Oh, also I wonder if the flower color changes in which biome it is.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
I mean, they got the option, I guess, to play with. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things that could happen with that. Also, I thought the vulture was kind of beautiful.
Yeah, I like.
It was a really nice looking vulture.
I like the idea of the vulture. I don't like the hey, you died, I'm gonna swoop down and steal some of your loot kind of
Oh,
thing.
yeah. Yeah. I was just looking at it. Like, I like the looks of it.
I do too.
I'm not sure if I like the... I don't know. It's... You already leave... You already get compensated quite well when you die. Like, it leaves your stuff there, unless you fall in lava. You get a really good chance to just go back and pick it up, unless you were in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Having a vulture around that picks up that stuff, it seems like it's just more aimed to give other people your stuff.
Yeah. Well, see, I like the idea of the vultures maybe circling where you died. Ooh. So, as a way to signal, hey, you died over here. Here's where your stuff is. Or if the vulture would, like, reference animals or mobs in the Badlands. Like, maybe there's a mob we don't know about coming, and, like, maybe a buffalo. And the vultures are flying above the buffalo, so for tons of blocks away, you can see.
Like, sort of a signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I like the idea of them circling a dead body, though. That's kind of... Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what vultures do, right?
Yeah.
We also had the tumbleweeds. I'm not sure what to think of it. I didn't really see much about it in that... Or nothing that gave me a good indication of how they're wanna do it.
Yeah. They made a little reference as if they had to dodge the tumbleweed, so I wonder if like it can hit a player and move based on that. Maybe it'll be a way to add maybe weather mechanics to the game, since now you technically would have wind in the Badlands, because wind blows tumbleweeds.
It's a good point. Maybe it is a step towards adding wind anyway. Mm-hmm. That would be interesting. I don't know. My initial thought was, that's just gonna be another way to get sticks, right?
Yeah. So far, my initial thought on every biome was literally, I mean, there's been a couple cool things. Like, I'm more excited for the new cactus variations than I am anything else in the Badlands. Vultures could be cool, but I could see where they could be annoying.
Yeah, the cactus also came a little bit unexpected. Like, a new mob is kind of... Yeah, we could have expected that. Them putting out a flying mob is kind of unexpected, I guess. Mm-hmm. The tumbleweeds, I don't know. I've no idea how much they're gonna be around, or how much you're gonna notice them, or...
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next one, I guess.
Yeah, let's move to Swamp. So Swamp came out today, which means we're not going to get to mountains because this podcast comes out on the day they're going to talk about mountains. But the Swamp has frogs, boats with chests attached to them, and mangrove trees.
The first one that I had, that's the doggy in the background.
Yeah, I hear the dog. Shut up, puppy!
She's not a puppy anymore. The boats with chests seemed interesting, but the more I thought about it, I thought, that might, I don't know. Is it going to be really useful? Could be nice, though.
I'm with you. I think it's nice, but I don't think it's going to be as useful as some people say.
Well, I mean, you're going to be able to ride the boat as the... So you kind of have a donkey kind of thing on the water, which you couldn't have before. That's kind of nice.
Well, you could always put a chest in a llama and put a llama in a boat.
Oh, that actually works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Couldn't you do this same thing with a donkey?
You probably do.
I guess when you tame it and put a saddle on it, you can't put it in a boat. That's how it works with horses as well, I think.
I don't know. Either way, yeah. To me, it would be cooler if you could put maybe a shulker box there or an ender chest there. And
I was just gonna say it's only gonna be useful until you have shulker boxes, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Mangrove trees, I'm excited about, but worried at the same time. I like the idea of a new block and a new tree and all this stuff. But I have a feeling it's just going to be an oak tree with more logs on the stumps.
Yeah, you literally like took all the words I wanted to go and say. I mean, that was my most, or is my most worry, I guess. You're gonna get mangrove trees, which are, I mean, they're kind of interesting shaped in real life. And except for, I guess, the acacia tree, they all are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried they're gonna do the mangrove the same as well. Also, I'm curious what kind of color are they gonna do with that.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's just an oak log. I mean, we already have two kinds of oak.
Right. Also, we have like a lot of colors already in the wood, if that makes sense.
That's true.
Which colors are possibly left? I mean, the only one I can think of is probably gonna be quite greenish, which would make sense, sort of, for the swamp. Yeah, although if I look at a real mangrove tree, I mean, I've never seen the wood of it, but I've seen the bark and stuff, obviously, on pictures. I would assume something like birch, like quite light.
I was gonna say like a light gray, so think like acacia, but a little bit lighter without an orange underneath it.
Oh, that would be really cool, actually. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and then we have frogs, which... frog.
Weren't they also doing something? I thought they stole items or something.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Not sure.
If they did that, I don't want them either.
Maybe I just assumed it when I saw the frogs.
No, you could be right. But why are all the mobs trying to take items from us?
I'm really starting to doubt myself now on if they take items or not. I don't know. Frogs, yeah. I mean, it makes sense in swamps. It feels like such a small thing. Like a vulture, sure, that's gonna fly around. A frog, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we have lily pads, and frogs should be on lily pads. Kind of makes sense.
Very true. I mean, yeah, they should be there already, I guess. They're like the rabbits of the swamp.
Yeah, another ambient mob or whatever.
Probably.
I don't think it's going to have any kind of cool drops. Maybe we can get frog legs as a food source.
Stop thinking my words.
No, they are my words.
I was waiting for you to finish that sentence, and then I was like, oh, we could have frog legs maybe as a new food source.
I want frog legs dipped in honey.
Oh.
Now you're hungry.
That will work. Yep.
That's how it goes. I talk about food and immediately I need some food.
Well, it helps. I mean, I've had frog legs a few times. I mean, granted, it wasn't in the fanciest restaurant by far. They're kind of tasteless.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. let's
we'll end it there.
Minecraft. Yeah.
Okay, so on the other biomes that didn't get chosen last year, Lady Agnes has tweeted that Mojang is still planning on updating the savanna and desert, but there is no timeline given except for not this year, which to me is a big disappointment.
Well, I mean, this year is only, 3 months-ish?
Right, but they were in last year's Minecon vote. To me, that if you're going to put them in the biome vote, they should be at least like 50% done or something like that, because they're not adding a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
For the next big update, it should be a given that at least one of those biome updates we're going to get added to, on top of the new biome getting voted in.
Maybe that's what we're going to do for 1.15. They're just going to add all the biomes.
Yeah. But I think that's it for the news.
Yeah. People, we have Discord. We would like you to join. Talk with fellow Withering Effect members. It actually got quite active this week. It was really cool to see. There was a lot of conversation going on. Yeah, it's a good way to get in contact with us. So join the Discord. Links in the show notes. But let's get on with our topic.
Yeah, so we kind of have one topic that's broken into two smaller topics. And with us being, 4 days away from Minecon, it's going to be about Minecon. Surprise, surprise. So the two topics are going to be what we want from Minecon and what we expect to get from Minecon. Because obviously what we want and what we're getting are going to be two different things. And you guys already know one of the things I want that I'm not going to get.
I mean, yeah, people who have listened to this podcast before should probably know by now.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah, I mean, take it away, since I mean,
right.
We already know one of yours.
I'm going to go ahead and list out more wood types, more block types, because that's obvious. It's like saying half slabs and stairs by now.
Seems like wood types might actually be in there for you.
Yeah, I think we got teased with the last biome update, and we're getting teased with mangrove trees this update. I want some more wood types. I find I use like 3 wood types, and that's it.
Yeah, there's like, what is it? Dark oak and spruce and oak that you use, and then the other ones you sort of occasionally use.
I use stripped birch logs, and that's the first time I used birch in years.
I mean, true. The stripped stuff kind of helps.
Yes,
using it more.
Stripped is very nice update. It's probably my favorite wood update to date.
Well, I also like that they added the 4-sided bark blocks, but I think they came in the same update.
Yes, I've never used that.
Oh, I have a lot. Building trees, you can sort of hide those ugly faces in the trunks, and then when you're in the leaves, it doesn't matter. It's kind of nice to have that difference.
Well, that's just it. I kind of like that ugly face, because to me it kind of looks like a knot in a tree.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm weird, so I make wonky trees. If any of you guys watch my YouTube, it's definitely wonky trees all the way.
I feel that is kind of the point of a tree. Just make it wonky and it'll look like a tree.
Yeah. So what about you? What's your one thing you want from Minecon? Or first thing?
I kind of like it if they didn't make people choose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel it worked out for the best in the past updates. Or in the past, what is it? The 2 choices we had. They chose taiga. I mean, the whole biome choice felt a bit lame.
Mm-hmm.
For the mob, we just totally picked the wrong mob. Like, we were gonna get an aqua update, which we didn't even know when we picked the flying mob. Mm-hmm. Which is just sort of annoying there sometimes. I don't know. I just make them choose. They know how to make a game. I think they've proven that. They're one of the most successful games at this time. Mm-hmm. Usually game makers know better what people want than the people themselves.
Are you saying I don't know what I want, Bang?
Yeah. That is kind of what I'm saying.
Shocking. You're right. You're 100% right. I think the votes are not a good thing. Especially like these biome updates. I'm sure somebody's working really hard on them, but it doesn't feel like someone's working really hard on them. I would love to just let's put the biomes away for a little while, and 116's the biome update. Here's like 9 new biomes or 9 updated biomes.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I kind of said it before as well. They like maybe 1.15 is that. I don't think it is, but yeah, just you got all these biomes, you got them ready. At least the ideas are there, which is I think probably the biggest part. Mm-hmm. Just work it out, put it in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. What else would you want?
I want something like the campfire. To me, the campfire block was the best block that came out of the last update. Mm-hmm. And that's saying a lot, because we got a lot new crafting tables and stuff.
I like the bell as well. I feel it's in the same kind of range.
I agree.
Especially now that they added the redstone signal thingy to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you have something in mind? Like, did you have an example?
Ready? Not really. My first pick would be something like a sleeping bag. With the fact that we now can set our spawn point during daylight. Right. I think something like a sleeping bag would be cool. But then again, you can just pick your bed up and carry it anyways. So, yeah.
It would be... I guess it would be an item for good feel. Like, it makes more sense to carry a sleeping bag than a bed.
Yeah.
I mean, sleeping bag shouldn't be the worst thing, I guess.
Maybe a wheelbarrow.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good one. Or yeah, any kind of cart. Maybe a minecart you don't have to use on rails. And looks not as buckety.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a good one. I like that.
They were talking about how I remember when they changed the horse model to this really blocky version. Everyone hated that. Or at least everyone I talked to hated that. And I was in the same boat. I thought the horse model looked great. And now they're like, well, it needs to be more blocky to fit the game. And then you see this, like you said, the vulture. The vulture wasn't that blocky. It was a very well-designed looking thing from that little bit of animation we saw.
Right. It was almost out of place.
Right. And then they did that same thing with, like, the fish in the aquatic update. What was the foxes?
Yeah.
Aren't so much like that. Well, maybe their tails. Their tails are weird. But
I mean, the Phantom doesn't fully belong with it, because the actual shape is kind of blocky, but the texture is quite extensive, elaborate. How do you call it?
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they're kind of getting away from that. Everything needs to be ultra blocky and like, okay, we were wrong, but we're not going to admit we were wrong. Because you have blocks like the campfire, which was just a half slab, before people say, oh no, do not do that. That's ugly. Yeah,
that's also kind of a good example. You're leading me up really well for my next kind of point.
Bring it.
Well, it was my last point, but I'll put it as next point.
Okay.
Because I didn't really write them down with an order in there anyway. Yeah, I'd like them to work. Because you mentioned like you get some of the more fancier textures now, and then the really simple ones we still have as a sort of big contrast to that. I'd like them to work to maybe. Well, I wrote it down as being a less of a noob game, which is really blunt to say. Yeah. But it is. I mean, Minecraft kinda is a big noob game.
Yeah.
And I think upgrading the textures a little bit, maybe adding some challenges as well, but don't remove like the easiness of it, because obviously that's what's appealing as well. But I think upgrading to that a bit more modern textures, maybe. I mean, don't go full on shaders, but just upgrade it a little bit or something.
Well, I don't think there's a problem with the shaders. Textures. I really like what they did with textures, but the models for the textures,
I think that's a better way of putting it, because they did make some nice textures actually with they changed them not too long ago.
Yeah, and I really have liked most of the texture upgrades. There were some I just went no, like changing the observer to the face was one of those textures. I went, why? Why does it have to have a face? I have the red squares still. Whenever I upgrade my texture pack, redstone gets the clean mumbo jumbo look, and the observers have the non-face version.
I think it's in Exuma tweaks now, actually.
Yes.
I think that's solid. I did get some Exuma tweaks. For the most part, I kept it normal.
Okay. My next turn. Next item is focus on better stability.
Well, yeah.
I get kicked from Minecraft a decent amount now. Like, when I turn the game on and I try to join the server, it says, failed to log in, and I have to shut Minecraft down, open it back up, and then I can join. I don't know why this is. I don't know what happened, but it happened after the latest launcher update. I've sent the little report or whatever off, but why? Give me stability. Give me more frames. I'm tired of having just 100 frames. We talked about this before. I'm basically being naggy because I have 100 frames, and there are people who are playing way worse off than me. But to me, Minecraft isn't that complicated of a game. It shouldn't really... My fans on my PC shouldn't rev up when I play Minecraft.
Yeah, I agree. It would be nice to make it... I mean, also, if they do that, it makes it more accessible.
Yeah.
For people with less money, basically.
Exactly. Some people can't afford the big chunky CPU to run Minecraft, and they deserve to be able to play the game as well as I play the game.
Right? Well, maybe some people just like to play the game, but don't really want to... I mean, gaming is not their hobby, so they don't want to spend a lot of money on it. That
right.
could be a thing as well. Yeah.
What about you? What's your next thing?
I'd like them to upgrade the combat system.
Yeah.
Get more weapons, get more variety in things. Just make it more, basically. Mm-hmm. So we can... There's a big... You can get big changes in how people fight. And they should all be equally good, just depending on how you are.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a bit like, you only got one choice.
Yeah. I mean, you can choose between a sword and an axe, but not a lot of people choose the axe.
Yeah, but on the axe you already can't put flame and such. So it sort of gets a little bit worse already. I mean, the axe is a viable weapon, though. That's true.
Yeah. Well, it's viable,
but it would be nice to get
for 1v1. But if you got about 6 mobs or zombies chasing you, it's not really the best pick.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of different weapons, ranges and speeds, playing with that. I mean, I think they kind of played with that in the weird combat updates they sort of did in between.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should keep going with that and make it really... Just make it a complicated system, maybe. Well... Not too complicated, because that's annoying, but I think a little bit more complexity would be good.
I think they should take a look at Breath of the Wild on how they did their combat, because they have a ton of different weapons to choose from, and they were easy to pick on, like, how this weapon worked. So, while I don't agree with Breath of the Wild's destruction of weapons, because basically it was like fighting with a stick the entire time, 2 hits and it broke. But you had, like, spears, you had longsword, broadswords, you had, like, boomerangs you can throw. It's all these different little kind of weapons that were really cool to play with every once in a while. So something like that, even just adding a spear would be cool. You have a trident already. So, to me, a long spear should be pretty simple to do.
Yeah, they're like halfway there. Well, they just got to do the texture almost.
Well, I mean, you just put 3 fence posts down the middle of the crafting table, and it crafts the spear.
I just like the idea of having to use fence posts as a crafting material.
Yeah,
that's kind of nice.
You don't have to use those a lot. Okay,
all right.
So my final, what I want from Minecon. Where are my red dragons at? I want my red dragons.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not getting red dragons. I know I'm not getting red dragons, but I'm going to keep bringing it up until I get red dragons. So there's my 1 per episode. I say 1 per episode, but I think I've gone like 3 episodes without saying it.
Did you? I didn't even notice.
When we had Nina on. I don't think we didn't have a topic worthy of bringing up red dragons.
I'm sure you'll make up for it in this episode.
Yeah, red dragons. There we go.
All right, so we know what we want from Minecon, but what do we actually expect?
Okay, so I did some thinking, and so far with Badlands and with Swamp, we've gotten 2 ambient mobs with the vulture and the frog. So I have the feeling we're going to get more ambient mobs with this update. Stuff like maybe birds and owls, maybe even squirrels. Stuff like that.
I would like squirrels, though.
I think squirrels could be kind of cool.
It's definitely in the team what they've been doing lately. Like, they have been adding a lot of these kinds of animals. Turtles, pandas, parrots. I'm drawing a blank. Dolphins, foxes. I mean, they're all kind of... Well, bees are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ambient creatures, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice, because that's gonna live up the world. Make it, I mean, I guess more realistic in how much you can get in a blocky game.
Yeah. Do you imagine a block-sized squirrel chasing around? Well, I guess it would be kind of like a rabbit or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, it would be weird if it got much bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, they should probably be the size of a rabbit.
Yeah. Or a baby rabbit. That would be really cool. Everyone would be chasing squirrels trying to catch them. Oh, and I just dropped stuff.
Well, if they also jump through the trees and stuff, that would be really annoying to catch them.
Flying squirrels.
That could make for some good mini games.
It really
Catch
could.
as many squirrels if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Get like a bug net. Try and catch them with that.
Oh, you think we're going to get a net? We got bees. We're going to get a net.
Ooh. I didn't even... It literally just popped up. Like, oh, you're going to try and catch squirrels. What would be a good thing? And I just thought of the bird net kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, who knows? There's not much use for it beyond catching bees, though.
No.
If they were to add it. Well, maybe catching fish.
Yeah. Okay, so what's your your first thing that you'll expect from Minecon?
I mean, it's a bit of a downer, but for the most part, it's gonna be a little bit of this disappointment.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be something similar to, I don't know, the Phantom and the Taiga biome. It sort of has all the same things going on for it.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, that was in, what was it, 1.13, so that was a big update, and then those two kind of fell away in there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's gonna just stick sort of with this kind of thing.
So you're saying they blew their wad with the bees?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not wanting to agree, but I kind of agree. I think 113, the aquatic update, and then the village and pillage update were such large updates and filled with so many bugs. And hearing them talk about how they want 115 to be more of a we need to get the bugs out of the game update instead of causing more. I see this being a very small update, which I lean more towards, I'm okay with that. But I don't think it should be a wasted one Minecon. It should be like a middle of the road update. Kind of like how, I want to say 111 was. It wasn't an extremely huge update, but it brought one or two really cool things.
Wasn't that when the shulkers came? Shulker boxes?
I don't know.
Was that when we got to fly elytras with rockets?
I think it was fly elytras with rockets.
I mean, that was a pretty big change, but that was pretty much it.
That was the last update I remember updating to, where I updated the server the day it happened, and we had no glitches, no problems, no nothing. There was no bugs to deal with.
Wasn't 1.11... Oh, I thought 1.11 was the one where the boat stacky elytra launcher things were just crashing the server as soon as you got near.
Oh, no, you're making me eat my words. I have no clue. I can't remember now. Maybe it was
could have been 1.10 as well. We actually talked about this in a previous episode.
Yeah. You guys tell us what we said so I can eat my words.
Or me.
Yeah. One of us is wrong. You decide who.
Oh boy. Is this turning in this kind of show?
Vote on who you want to kick off the podcast.
Oh, now it's really getting dark.
We haven't gone on a tangent this episode, so it was needed.
True. Well, no, we didn't.
No, we've been on track.
What's wrong with us?
We've been doing pretty good.
All right.
Anyways, now back to the podcast.
Yeah, what's your next, what do you expect?
They're going to take something stale and upgrade it. Because that's what they've been doing for the last 3 updates. They took oceans, upgraded it. They took villagers, upgraded it. They took a biome taiga, upgraded it. But I don't think they're going to do it to the same extent. And I'm not sure what they're going to pick to upgrade. Everyone's like, upgrade caves, caving update. Well, maybe they're going to do that. We just don't know it yet.
I mean, I like the fact that they have been renewing a lot of stuff.
I do too.
So that's good, but I agree. Unless they do something decent, like villagers or the oceans, it's not gonna... I mean, it's gonna be nice, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a bit of a disappointment if they don't do this big. With caves, I don't feel there's much point in updating it if they can't add at least slabs in the generation of them.
Right, and that's where I kind of go to. This might feel like a downer. Like, I don't want to break people's bubbles and stuff, and maybe they're gonna have some kind of huge, awesome update that we got blindsided with, kind of like we did with the villagers. I don't think anyone really expected them to touch those. But a terrain generation would be very cool. I don't know how much work that would take. I know at one point they were focusing on terrain generation.
I mean, I've never tried it myself, but I've seen a lot of people making games, and terrain generation is always a struggle in these kinds of games somehow. So I'm gonna guess it's quite difficult. Yeah, who knows? Maybe they've been working on it for a long time already, quietly in the background.
Maybe. Like I said, they could very much pull something out of their sleeve, and we're all going to be like, what the heck? That is awesome. I kind of don't expect it.
Didn't they say, actually, like quite a while back already, that they were going to get those slider thingies back, but not as complicated for the terrain generation that we used to have?
Yeah. They mentioned
so it is something they have said actually quite a while back then.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't expect to full on see like a crystal cave in this update or something like that.
No, I'm not sure if I would like to see that. That's another thing. Like, if they're gonna update caves, that's kind of the kind of thing you're gonna get, right? Well, I mean, a crystal cave would be cool. But they're just gonna add a bunch of stuff to the caves to just add more stuff to it, I guess. Yeah. That wouldn't necessarily be a good thing.
Yeah, I would like the updates if they're not gonna upgrade stuff like villagers and stuff. Make it kind of add to a story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think they done that with adding, or when they upgraded the end and stuff like that. So try making it where I can tell a better story, because I'm bad at that.
That's a good tip. They should listen to this.
They should. Where's my red dragons?
Yeah. In your mind, and they're gonna probably stay there for a while.
Yeah. At least I'm free in my mind.
Yep. I mean, you could try and make a data pack or something.
Oh yeah. Anyways, what is your last what to expect from Minecon?
I think they'll do a lot of non-Java Minecraft stuff. I think there will be a lot of Minecraft Earth and a lot of Minecraft Dungeon.
I agree.
Minecraft Earth, personally, I don't care as much about. I'd like to see more of the dungeon stuff. I think that could be interesting.
I agree with you. Earth is like, okay, yeah, that's great technology and stuff, but it might be something I play once. I can see playing dungeons more. It won't be a full-time play it all the time, but if I'm bored and chilling somewhere, I'd love to be able to download it on my Nintendo Switch and like just chill on the couch and play it.
I get that. Well, besides being able to play it, I'm just kind of interested in what they're gonna do for Minecraft Dungeons. So listening to their plans for that, I think I generally think that's interesting.
I do too, and I hope they use dungeons as a way to maybe add, like, well, they talked about what was it, Muddy Pigs in Earth were gonna come to Java at some point. They just didn't know when.
Muddy Pigs?
Yeah. You haven't seen the Muddy Pigs?
I have not.
It's like a completely different mob type, and people are like, we want that in Java. And they're like, yeah, it's probably going to come to Java at some point, but not soon.
Okay, so initially when you said it, I was just thinking, what, they're making pigs roll in mud or something? But it is actually like a different mob thing?
From what I read, and this was months ago.
Okay.
To me, I think they should just add a mud block, or have the swamp have muddy water and allow pigs to walk into the water, and then the pig texture changes and they get muddy. Kind of like how if a mushroom gets struck by lightning, it turns brown.
I like the mud block idea. That makes sense. Like, especially now that you got blocks that you can saturate with water.
So basically take
yeah.
a dirt block or coarse dirt block and waterlog it, and it turns into mud.
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe when it's just when dirt's next to water, it's gonna turn into mud. But when you farmland it, it's gonna turn farmland, obviously.
Yeah.
And then to keep, like, having ugly shores, you just have sand, like normal beaches. I don't know.
It could work. Well, we don't know. We're not game developers.
This game. Yeah. Leave it up to them. They know better.
They know what we want. Game. We don't get to choose.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's kind of it for this episode. I know it's kind of a short episode, but we're kind of excited for Minecon, and that's going to be a more fun episode. Plus, next week is a special guest episode. Hopefully, we can get a guest on. And short notice.
Actually, before you, I don't think before you quit this or we quit this, I don't think we have talked about what we think the mountain update will bring us, do we?
Oh, we did not talk about.
I think that might be interesting to maybe speculate a little bit about.
Okay.
What because obviously that's gonna come out tomorrow or today when the podcast comes out. Yeah. What do you think? Like the mountain update. What do you think they're gonna do?
Bears.
I think bears.
Bears.
Ooh. Dang, you nailed it.
I think it's gonna be grizzly bears or black bears or something like that. And
I was just gonna say it's gonna be some other mob that steals your items, like the other two.
The bear just mauls you to death and puts your diamond helmet on its head in victory.
Although the bear could be a bit cheesy as well, because we already got polar bears. It's like, oh yeah,
and panda bears
skin on it. Oh yeah, I even forgot about those because you never see them. Yeah, we're already got bears. Although bears make sense in the mountains. Maybe mountain goats.
Ooh, that could be cool. Hey, Suze, we're recording a podcast. I mean, I'm glad you're having fun walking back and forth, but chill.
It took her long before she entered.
Yeah. Swabby was probably distracting her, and then she came in.
I mean, it's alright. I didn't even notice it that much.
Yeah, so bears, I'm going to guess a red oak tree also.
I don't know. I feel like a tree might be out of place in the mountains. Definitely something plant related. I mean, the other one got the cactus and then the mangrove tree.
Yeah.
Surely they're gonna add some kind of plant. Maybe bushes.
Ooh, maybe.
That would kind of make sense in the mountains.
We got berry bushes last update, so.
That is true.
I'm trying to. I had an idea and then I lost it. Oh. The problem with this is there's several different biomes with mountain variations into them. Yeah. Like, I live on a gravelly mountain. Does that mean I'm going to have to deal with bears? Are bears just going to be aggressive from the start? Am I going to have to put my trash in a tree up high so it can't get to it?
I mean, that would be really annoying if you would have to hide your food up in a tree all the time.
Well, I do have a bouncy trash can, too, so I can just bounce it up there.
Just bounce it up infinitely. Keep bouncing it. It's like the arrow bouncy thing.
Yeah. But other than that, do you have any ideas for mountains? Any more?
No, not really. Well, what if we
talked about
They
bears.
also added some random kind of thing in the other two, right? I mean, I'm just kind of looking at what the other ones got and then go on from there.
Yeah, you got a tumbleweed and you got a boat with a chest.
That's two completely different things.
Yeah.
It seems like the third one could be random.
I really like the idea of the mountain goat.
It would be... I don't know. It would be some kind of another sort of quality of life mob that doesn't do much. Yeah. But it's sort of... I mean, there isn't much that could work in the mountains. Then there's loads, but what else could work as a mountain animal?
I don't know.
Cougars? Something like that?
Yeah. Mountain lions?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the idea of having something a little bit more dangerous. I mean, it doesn't have to be full-on enemy mob, but something like a polar bear, it's like sometimes it's a bit angry. Yeah. That could work.
Maybe just have like two different variations. Like if its eyes are red, you know it's going to come at you. If its eyes are black, it kind of skittish and runs away. Eyes are black, it kind of skittish and runs away.
What else? I don't know. It seems like it could be any random kind of...
Yeah. Well, see, that's just it. They had the taiga update, and to me, the taiga update felt like a mountain update.
Yeah, a little bit. They could have merged that, probably. Yeah, maybe we get new grass or something for the mountains.
I would like new grass. That's weird to say, but
kind of alright.
I'd like some different grass, or some kind of plant with a different leaf block.
I don't know, some kind of spammable plant. Like grass can be everywhere. It's sort of fine. Flowers, little less, but still kind of works. Vines, they can be spammed around in, well, swamps at least.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that could work.
Agreed.
Yeah? Okay, so I guess we did it for the mountains.
We did it!
Yeah, let's end the show, I guess.
Roll us out, Pink.
If you like the show, share it with all your friends and on social media. Leave us a rating and a review, and that really helps us out to reach more listeners. If you'd like to get into contact with the show, send an email to podcast@rippleeffectsmp.com. Send us a tweet or join our Discord, which is still like the best thing to do. You can have a chat with us. It's awesome. Links will be in the show notes.
Yeah, this show has been brought to you by Bank and myself, but also our digital producer Carl. He helps make sure the show ends up where it's supposed to be and not in a swamp with a bunch of frogs. The amazing music you hear in the intro and outro was created by the one and only Decoy. Their social media info can be found in the description. You guys have been awesome. Thanks so much for getting withered with us. You should probably go drink some milk. See ya.
See ya later.